filter, no disguise. Every headline, I'm breaking it live. From the streets to the pressure of up top, we see it all, yeah, we connect the dots. Weekly rain, yeah, we run it down. Truth hit different when it wear a crown. No fluff, no cap, just facts in sight. Welcome to the weekly rain report. Let's get into it tonight.
Disclaimer: this broadcast is intended for commentary, discussion, and entertainment purposes only. All topics and statements are based on publicly available information, including news reports, social media content, and third-party sources, which may include allegations or unverified claims. The views expressed are opinions and should not be interpreted as confirmed facts. This content is not intended to harm, defame, misrepresent any individual, organization, or entity. Viewer discretion is advised. What's good, YouTube family? It is your girl, Soft Rain, and welcome to my weekly rain report where I break down some interesting headlines that I thought deserve to be put on my weekly rain report because I found them interesting. Also that I found that they might be some of importance to you as well. So thank y'all for coming in. I see Miss Mariel. She's already in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all do all the free stuff. Like, subscribe, turn on those notifications so when I do go live, you're here with me when I do go live. So thank you for being here, Miss Mariel. I appreciate you being here. Make sure you hit that share button as well. Share it with some family, some friends that may want to help or want to know what might be going on this week. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm not gonna waste any time. My first story is, I'm gonna treat this as breaking news because it's happened recently. So I'm gonna get that pulled up for y'all. Hold on one second. We're gonna treat it as breaking news. So tonight I'm gonna begin with a conflict that is no longer staying within the borders of Iran. Iranian strikes are now reaching critical infrastructure across the Gulf, while American military families are receiving news they feared the most. Unfortunately, 2 United States service members were killed during an Iranian attack on an American position in Jordan. A third service member was reportedly missing as military personnel continued searching the area and assessing the damage. The attack prompted another round of U.S. strikes against Iranian military targets, including missile facilities, air defenses, and coastal surveillance systems. But Iran's retaliation did not stop with just military bases. A strike damaged a major power and desalination facility in Kuwait, sparking a fire and raising concerns about the security of the country's drinking water supply. Kuwait depends on this facility for more than 90% of its potable water, meaning an attack on one of these plants is not simply an attack on machinery, it's an attack on a basic resource millions of people need to survive. Kuwait condemned the strike as a dangerous escalation and violation of protections for civilian infrastructure. Iran has argued that those attacks are retaliation attacks for direct U.S. strikes against Iranian sites. Is portraying the move as a warning to Washington and the government's assisting American operations. So tonight, behind the language of strategy and retaliation are military families wanting answers. 2 families now know that their loved ones are not coming home. And another is still waiting to learn whether the missing service member will ever be found or could be found. So this conflict is expanding from military installations to water systems, from political threats to personal loss, and every new strike makes the road back to diplomacy, of course, more difficult. So I'm going to get into this video that talks about it. Let's see. This was just an hour ago, so I'm gonna pull this video up right here. Again, thank y'all for being here. If you're just pulling up, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you can come back. I do this once a week on Sundays. Sometimes I'll hit up Wednesdays if I'm moving around different. So yeah, thank y'all for being in here. I see little Penny is in here. Luis is in here. Welcome in. Miss Muriel's in here as well. So I'm going to get to y'all comments in just a second, but I'm going to go ahead and pull up this video in reference to what I just talked about. So let me do this. I like it like this. Oh, those numbers just jumped up. Welcome, y'all. Welcome on in. Come on in and have a seat. Hit that like button when you get in here. And let me pull this. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get it pulled up on the screen for you. All right, let's listen in.
Military announced yet another service member had been killed in action, this time in northern Iraq. This is prompting concerns that Iran and the U.S. are edging closer to a wider war. Less than 24 hours ago, we learned at least 2 U.S. service members were killed during an attack by Iran on a military base in Jordan. This video circulating online appears to show the moment the missiles hit the base. The U.S. responded swiftly with yet another wave of airstrikes on Iran and promising more to come. The State Department is now warning Americans overseas to remain vigilant and exercise increased caution. We have team coverage tonight. ABC's Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz leads us off from Jordan.
Tonight, the American death toll in the war with Iran is growing. CENTCOM announcing just hours ago, human remains were found at the site where 2 service members were killed in that Iranian attack on a U.S. base here in Jordan. The remains could be those of the missing 3rd service member. CENTCOM also announcing that an additional service member was killed in Iraq during the controlled detonation of a downed Iranian one-way attack drone. If the remains are that of the missing service member, that brings the American death toll since the war began to 18. The U.S. now launching nightly strikes on Iranian targets this weekend, focusing on the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, believed to be responsible for targeting the American troops. But Iran retaliating each time, continuing to strike U.S. bases in Kuwait, Jordan, and Bahrain. Air raid sirens could be heard today in Jordan, less than 48 hours after the Iranian attack on the base here. Video circulating online appearing to show projectiles and some interceptions over that base, but clearly not all were stopped. Those deadly missiles and drones raising questions about Iran's precision capabilities, even after the administration said Iran's military had been decimated. And there are questions about the U.S. military's ability to defend its personnel here.
One of the concerns, I think, on this strike is, are the Iranians getting information, targeting information, intelligence from another country?
This afternoon, President Trump attending the World Cup final. He had warned of a massive response if U.S. personnel were killed, but tonight spoke only of those who were killed in these latest attacks, telling reporters on Saturday that the deaths in Jordan were a very sad thing and a shame. But more American warplanes are headed to the region. Sources telling the New York Times F-16s from Germany and stealth F-35 fighters from Britain are being sent, along with aerial refueling capability. The now nearly 5-month-long conflict bringing traffic through the critical Strait of Hormuz to a standstill. Kepler saying only 8 vessels navigated the strait on Friday, although Energy Secretary Chris Wright disputing that.
Almost all the public data I've seen is incorrect. There's flow through 2 routes through the Strait of Hormuz.
The price of oil now rising, along with the pain at the pump, with a gallon of gas approaching $4. And Lindsay, tonight here in Jordan and in other Gulf countries, they are bracing for more attacks and the possibility this war could spread even wider. Lindsay?
Nothing anyone wants there.
Yeah, y'all. So, those gas prices are going to be going up. Unfortunately, we have lost 2 service, maybe even 3 service members, and nobody wants that news, and doing all of this. We sure do not want to be losing service members because we've lost enough already. So Muriel said they need to leave those people alone because they're not playing, and now they're sacrificing other lives for something that's not even ours. Bridget said, this like when your cousin invites you to see her live on TV, can't say nothing, just sit down and be proud. I appreciate you, Bridget. I appreciate you, Bridget. Appreciate you, Bridget. So if y'all are catching this on the rewatch, please make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, leave your comments down in the comment section. I talk back. I try to at least. So Yeah, make sure you do that while you're here. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my next segment, which is policy and pressure. And we're going to be talking about, since all this is going on, the State Department has issued worldwide caution as Iran conflict escalates. So y'all need to be, my world travelers need to be aware of where they're going, who they're with, and what they're doing. So let me get that pulled up for y'all, and we'll move on to policy and pressure. So the State Department now is warning Americans overseas to remain alert as the conflict with Iran creates security concerns far beyond the Middle East. The notice is officially called a worldwide caution. It does not prohibit Americans from traveling internationally, and it does not mean every destination is under the same level of threat, but it does mean that the federal government believes Americans, American facilities, and locations associated with the United States could face increased danger. The warning advises Americans abroad to follow alerts from the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate and remain aware of their surroundings and prepare for sudden disruptions. So, those disruptions could include closed airspace, canceled flights, delayed connections, tightened airport security, and difficulty moving between countries. U.S. diplomatic facilities, including some outside of the Middle East, have previously been targeted during periods of regional escalation. So, for travelers, this means checking the advisory for the specific country that they're visiting, enrolling in the State Department's traveler notification system, and maintaining backup plans for lodging, medication, transportation, and communication. So, this is also a pressure test for the United States government as well. Washington must protect Americans abroad without creating unnecessary panic. It must maintain diplomatic operations while deciding whether embassies need reduced staffing or evacuations. And it must explain how long military operations could continue and whether the current strategy is making Americans safer or increasing the risk of retaliation. There are several Middle Eastern destinations already heightened um, with individual advisories in those locations, with Iran remaining under a level 4 do not travel warning. The takeaway is not that Americans must cancel every trip. The takeaway is that the routine international travel can quickly become complicated when military conflict crosses borders. So let's get into that video. And I got it somewhere. Let's see. There it is. It's short. It's very short. It's very short. There we go.
The State Department has issued a warning to Americans traveling overseas. The department says increased tensions between Iran and the United States sparked the new warning. A statement released yesterday urged Americans to exercise increased caution, especially if they're traveling in the Middle East. The State Department last issued a similar advisory in March, and the newest warning comes after the U.S. traded daily strikes with Iran.
The U.S. military completing
Yeah, oh, well, we can listen to this one. This one's short as well.
another round of airstrikes on Iran in response to an attack that killed American troops in Jordan. This is new footage released by the U.S. military showing today's strikes by fighter jets and Tomahawk cruise missiles targeting Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard. The Iranian attack in Jordan killed 2 American service members, left 1 missing and 4 hospitalized. Since the war began, 16 U.S. service members have been killed and more than 430 wounded. The strikes are part of a campaign over control of the Strait of Hormuz.
And the State Department has issued a worldwide travel alert for Americans who are abroad. It cites heightened tensions in the Middle East and warns that groups supportive of Iran could target U.S. citizens and interests overseas. Now, the agency urges Americans to exercise increased caution, closely monitor security guidance from local U.S. embassies and consulates. Officials are also warning that the Iran conflict could directly impact logistics like commercial flight cancellations and periodic airspace closure.
Yeah. So
The Tate brothers are now facing new legal troubles.
hold on, y'all. We're going to get to that in just a minute. So make sure before y'all travel, if y'all are doing any outside traveling, all my people who love to travel the world, make sure y'all, before y'all leave here, make sure y'all check the official advisory, not just the airline app. Okay. Go to, I think it's travel.gov, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. We're going to pull that up. Because in a crisis like this, knowing the risk before you arrive can make all the difference. Let me see. I'll look right quick. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's travel.gov. Let me look that up. It's travel.state.gov. Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up for y'all to make sure this tab instead. So, my people that travel the world, if y'all are looking because of this heightened tension with Iran and these new attacks that's going on, make sure y'all go over to travel.state.gov. Y'all can pull it up, and it has a interactive map that you can look at. Oh wow, okay. So level 1, the blue is normal precautions, exercise normal precautions. Level 2, oh, y'all can't see that whole thing that I'm seeing. Is it going to change on screen? Oh, man. Oh, y'all can't see what I'm seeing on the screen. Oh, well, y'all can see a little bit of it. So the blue is level 1. The blue with the stripes is level 2. And that's a little bit y'all can't see my mouse on the screen. But that's over like towards the north of the Middle East, like above India and whatnot. Level 2 is exercise increased caution. That's the gold color you see. There's another level 2 with the stripes that says contains areas with higher security risks. Level 3 is a reconsider travel. That's that orange color you see. And the orange color with the stripes it says contains areas with higher security risks. And the red that you see across Russia, the central part of Africa, the Middle East, is a do not travel. Do not travel. Okay, y'all. So yeah, that's oh, that came up in another. Oh, no wonder it came up in another tab. So let me share this tab. Okay, so see y'all, there is all the levels there and the color codes and whatnot. Of course, y'all know this big red area at the top over here on the right. That's Russia. So y'all just make sure y'all checking the travel advisories mapped on travel.gov, travel.state.gov, and that will give you more information on traveling before you hit the road. So yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next segment, which is Radar Investigates. So this is some trending news that I ran across, y'all. Andrew and Tristan Tate, they were arrested in Miami as Britain is seeking extradition. So they are influencers. Andrew and Tristan Tate are in custody in Miami as British authorities seek their extradition on multiple criminal charges, including rape and trafficking for sexual exploitation. These brothers were arrested by U.S. authorities following an extradition request connected to allegations under investigation in the United Kingdom. British prosecutors have filed dozens of charges involving multiple alleged victims and incidents prosecutors say occurred between 2010 and 2017. Andrew Tate faces allegations that include rape, human trafficking, bodily harm, and offenses involving indecent images of a child. Tristan faces allegations including rape, trafficking for S exploitation. And all of these, though, are criminal accusations, not convictions. Both men are entitled to the presumption of innocence. The Tate brothers deny any wrongdoing. Of course, their representatives have characterized the cases against them as politically motivated and have said the men intend to challenge these allegations through the courts. Their arrests do not mean they will be immediately placed on a plane to Britain. An extradition proceeding gives a U.S. court the opportunity to determine whether the legal requirements for surrender have been met. The court does not conduct the full criminal trial or decide guilt. Instead, the judge reviews the extradition request, the relevant treaty, and whether allegations would constitute crimes under American law. So the brothers could contest the extradition, and the process may involve hearings, appeals, and final decisions involving federal authorities. So separate legal matters involving the Tates have also unfolded in Romania and in civil proceedings, but each case must be evaluated independently. This story is bigger than the two controversial personalities. So let's listen in on that.
Authorities in the UK announcing additional.
The Tate brothers are now facing new legal troubles.
Authorities in the UK announcing additional charges. Local 10's Isabella Martin is live in Miami with what we know. Isabella.
Well, Andrew and Tristan Tate are in federal custody here in Miami as British authorities are pushing to extradite the brothers after announcing 38 new charges with 4 alleged victims. Hours before his arrest, Andrew Tate posted this video on X from Miami Friday night. By Saturday, Andrew and Tristan Tate had been arrested by the U.S. Marshals Service on a sealed warrant. Multiple published reports say the Tate brothers were arrested before Andrew Tate was scheduled to co-host a bare-knuckle boxing event in downtown Miami. The arrests come after British prosecutors announced they're seeking the brothers' extradition and authorized 38 additional charges involving 4 additional alleged victims. The new charges include allegations of rape, arranging or facilitating human trafficking for sexual exploitation, and assault. Andrew Tate also faces additional charges involving indecent images of a child and extreme pornography. In a statement provided to the Associated Press, the Tate's attorney called the charges politically motivated and defamatory and said the brothers intend to fight the extradition request. And Andrew and Tristan Tate are expected to make their first court appearance early next week. We'll continue to keep covering this story. Watch Local 10 for more. For now, reporting live is
Yeah, so, sometimes I think that that raises questions about online influence, international law, and whether enormous social media followings can shape how the public views serious allegations before a jury ever hears the evidence. For now, the charges, of course, they remain allegations. The denials remain on the record, and the next battle will take place inside the extradition system. So I do have another story for Radar under investigation, and I ran across this story and I was like, because it really makes you question, who are your real friends, or can you trust your friends that you think are your real friends? So an Alabama man has been accused of killing a couple he publicly called dear friends. An Alabama double homicide investigation is drawing attention not only because of the criminal allegations, but because of the relationship displayed online before the killings. George Birmingham has been charged with capital murder, 2 counts of murder, burglary, and additional drug-related offenses in connection with the deaths of military veteran Justin Elrod and his wife, Lena Elrod. Deputies responding to a reported burglary found the couple dead inside their Reform, Alabama home shortly after midnight on July the 12th. Authorities have described Birmingham as an acquaintance of the victims and have not publicly established a motive. Court records contain disturbing allegations concerning how the couple died. Because Birmingham has not been convicted, those details remain claims that prosecutors will have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So what makes the case especially unsettling, though, is the public history between the accused man and the victims. Social media posts reviewed by news organizations reportedly show Birmingham praising the Elrod family for over a decade. In 2017, he promoted a fundraiser for one of their children, writing that the family was very dear to him. He also reportedly helped organize a benefit event for them. And as recently as June 16th, less than 1 month before the killings, Birmingham included Justin and Lena in a post about the people he valued, ending with the words, "I love you guys." And this is so odd. Aliceville Mayor Terrence Wyndham described Justin as a humble and hardworking person, saying that he had survived military service and prison employment only to lose his life right at home. That's the haunting contrast, right? Online, the post appeared to show loyalty, affection, friendship. That's crazy to me. In court, prosecutors are presenting a dramatically different accusation. So let's listen. We're going to listen in on that. Report. Let's see. Here it is. We'll listen to this one. I have 2 videos to go with this one, so we'll listen to this one first, and then we will listen to the other one right behind each other. So. Listen to that.
County. Today, the sheriff's office released more information into the investigation. George Birmingham is being charged with capital murder, 2 counts of murder, second-degree burglary, possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana, and resisting arrest. On Sunday at 12:15 a.m., several law enforcement agencies responded to the 1800 block of County Road 49 following a report of a burglary in progress. Law enforcement located the suspected vehicle and took Birmingham into custody in connection with the burglary. Now, as the investigation continued, investigators determined that Birmingham allegedly committed a double homicide on Langdon Road before the burglary. Now, Justin and Lena Elrod have been identified as the 2 victims. Authorities did not release the cause of death of the victims. Now, Birmingham is currently being housed at the Pickens County Jail. This is an ongoing investigation. If anyone has information in the case, contact the Pickens County Sheriff's Office.
Breaking news in Pickens County, where we are just learning the people killed this weekend were husband and wife. George Birmingham, the man you see right here, is accused of killing Justin and Lena Elrod in their home in Reform. Your reporter, Brian Henry, is live and on your side. And Brian, we've also just learned some really new disturbing information about this case. So we need to give our viewers a warning about what you're about to share.
Hey, Morgan, you're absolutely right. The new documents we saw not long ago today say that George Birmingham used some sort of metallic object to stab or hit Justin Elrod in the head, and then used an electric saw to kill his own wife, Lena Elrod. The sheriff told us today the suspect and the victims were acquaintances, but he did not elaborate on that part of the connection. Now, the sheriff also told us they learned about this while responding to a home invasion call at a different home on County Road 49. Authorities say it was during the questioning of George Birmingham on the home invasion they learned he might have been connected to the double murder here at this location on Langdon Woods Road in Reform.
Deputies went and processed that scene where they located a deceased female and adult male. The investigation is ongoing.
The sheriff identified the victims, a married couple, as Justin Elrod and Lena Elrod. Monday afternoon, authorities charged George Birmingham with capital murder, 2 counts of murder, second-degree burglary, drug charges, and resisting arrest. Authorities say both crimes happened within about 45 minutes of each other. Sheriff Powell says he's not sure yet on the motive, but does not think at this point this was a random act. The sheriff described Birmingham as an acquaintance to the Elrods.
Right now, we're still working to figure out the motive and what transpired.
Although the investigation is far from over, the sheriff praised the work of his deputies and the district attorney's office. Both agencies were on the scene all night Sunday. The sheriff says the general public was never in danger, but getting the suspect off the streets was critical.
And took the subject into custody before anything further could happen. And I want to thank the men and women of the sheriff's department who worked countless hours without sleep. I want to remind the community that he is in custody and he's no threat to, there's no threat to the public.
And according to Sheriff Jordan Powell, more charges may be on the way for George Birmingham.
That's tough.
And Sheriff Jordan Powell also says the home burglary victims were not injured and they are okay. Your reporter in Pickens County, Brian.
Wow. That's a lot, y'all. That's a lot. You know, we get on here all the time talking about I gotta slow down. Talking about social media and how people put on superficial facades for social media all the time, and they don't really tell their truth. They don't live in their truth. In this case, social media can preserve years of smiles and supportive words, but it cannot always reveal what is happening beneath the surface of a relationship. He is presumed innocent until proven guilty. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for August the 20th. I am going to, this is one of the stories I'm going to be tracking for y'all. Make sure y'all tune in again for updates after August the 20th. We're going to see what kind of charges they bring, and maybe if they give more details in the case about what actually transpired at the home once they figure out what really went on, y'all. So, all right. Moving forward, from friends to children and pets. And we're going to move on to Hometown Rain, y'all. So get that pulled up. Hometown. So unfortunately, this happened near me in the vicinity of where I'm located. Fort Benning couple has been charged in an alleged starvation death of their infant son. If y'all don't know, Fort Benning is the largest infantry training installation in the United States. And they also have armor school there as well, and gentleman's school, officer candidate school, and airborne school. So Fort Benning is a large military installation here in the state of Georgia. So tonight's Hometown Rain story comes from inside the gates of Fort Benning, and it leaves behind a painful question. How could a child allegedly become severely malnourished inside a community surrounded by neighbors, military leadership, and support services without someone intervening in time? So a federal grand jury has indicted active duty soldier Ladarion McCray and Emma Bradshaw on 8 charges each, including felony murder by child abuse, first-degree cruelty to children, making false statements, and several animal cruelty offenses. Both defendants are presumed innocent unless proven guilty. Federal prosecutors allege the couple willfully deprived their infant son of necessary nutrition between January 14th and January 28th. The child died on January 28th while the family was living in housing on Fort Benning. Prosecutors allege both parents knew the baby was suffering from severe malnourishment before his death. When Army Criminal Investigation Division agents searched the home, they also found 2 severely malnourished dogs. A third dog, a dachshund, was found dead inside a trash barrel outside of the residence. A necropsy concluded that the dog died from starvation. Investigators allege the couple falsely claimed that the child showed no signs of illness and that the dachshund died from an illness and had been buried at a park. McCrae is now facing military discharge proceedings, rightfully so. The indictment does not identify a neighbor, medical provider, or military official who previously reported concerns. That means we cannot state that a specific agency ignored a confirmed warning. But the case still demands broader questions. Were there missed medical appointments? Did anyone visit the home? Were there visible signs of food insecurity, isolation, neglect? And what systems exist to identify at-risk infants living in military housing? So I'm going to get into the video. Let me get that video pulled up so we can get some more information on that and we can move forward. Let's see. Here we go. Sorry. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Partner are under indictment by a federal grand jury in the starving death of their son and a family dog. U.S. Attorney William Keyes announced the 8-count indictment today against 23-year-old Ladarian McCrae and 22-year-old Emma Bradshaw. The indictment alleges both knew their son was suffering from severe malnourishment prior to his death. Among the charges for both felony murder by child abuse and animal cruelty. Keyes says on January 28th, federal agents searched the couple's home, finding 2 severely malnourished dogs. The third, which was deceased, was found in a trash barrel. Keyes says at the time of the incident, the couple lived in housing on post. McCrae was an active duty soldier who had been recently transferred to Fort Benning. McCrae faces discharge from military service as a result of the charges.
That's wild. How could that happen? Muriel said, it's so sad that no one checked on that child. We need to do better as a society. I just, it's heartbreaking because no child deserves that. No child deserves that. I think we need to, we can't. I don't see how anyone would or could do any harm to a child, but we have so much evil in this world. Accountability belongs in the courtroom, but prevention belongs to the entire community. A child cannot schedule a doctor's visit, report an unsafe home, or ask a neighbor for help. Sometimes protecting the most vulnerable begins with noticing what does not look right and refusing to assume someone else will handle it. That's sad, y'all. It's real sad. If y'all are catching this on the rewatch, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit subscribe. I'm trying to get monetized, y'all. And make sure you comment below. Leave me your thoughts down below. And as far as monetization goes, if y'all ever feel like you want to support the channel, right now my Cash App is rolling at the top of the screen, Soft Rain RSC. So if you ever want to donate, it's greatly appreciated. It'll go to improving and paying for a StreamYard, Canva, decor, everything to make great content for you guys, to continue to bring content to you guys. So, but yeah, we're gonna move forward. Hopefully we're gonna lighten up. We've had some heavy news, so we're gonna lighten it up a little bit. We're gonna move over to our sports corner. Let me get that pulled up. All right, y'all. Guess what? Spain. Is it Spain? Yeah, Spain and Argentina fought it out for the World Cup. And Spain defeats Argentina in extra time to win the 2026 World Cup. I took myself off the stage. World Cup. So congratulations to Spain. Spain is back on top of the football world in a tense final at New York, New Jersey Stadium. Spain defeated defending champion Argentina 1-0 in extra time, capturing the nation's second men's World Cup champion and its first time since 2010. So that deciding moment arrived in the 106th minute. Nico Williams helped create the opening, and Torres finished the move to give Spain the only goal it would need. After more than 100 minutes of pressure, possession, and missed opportunities, Spain finally broke through Argentina's defense. Excuse me, y'all. Argentina spent the closing stages playing with 10 men after Fernandez received a second yellow card. Goalkeeper Martinez repeatedly kept Argentina in the match, turning away Spanish opportunities as Spain dominated the shot count and controlled much of the possession. For Argentina, the defeat ends in its attempt to win consecutive World Cups. The final may also mark Messi's last appearance on the tournament's biggest stage, closing another chapter in one of football's most celebrated careers. For Spain, the victory represents the return of global power. This generation entered the tournament carrying the weight of Spain's 2010 champions while attempting to establish its own identity. It did so with patience, young talent, and a willingness to keep attacking even as the match appeared headed toward penalties. Tonight, that moment belongs to Torres. Argentina leaves a proud defending champion that fought until the end. So let's look at a little bit. It was hard like finding a reference video, but we are going to see. And then I do want to get into something a little bit controversial before I move on from Spain. So let me get this pulled up for y'all. Let's see. Here we go.
Match, Spain ultimately emerged victorious, defeating the defending champions Lionel Messi and Argentina to win the FIFA World Cup final.
The two teams faced off in the New York, New Jersey Stadium with the first ever FIFA World Cup halftime show. The game was scoreless until Spain got on the board in that extra time. Argentina fighting until the very last second, but it was La Roja who eventually came out on top, winning their second World Cup title.
Fans from all over the world gathering to watch the two teams battle it out. KTLA's Jillian Smuggler live in Inglewood, where fans celebrated the big final game. Jillian, a lot of fun out there.
A lot of fun, Sandra. It's been a lot of fun. And tonight, fans are still celebrating out here. Now, obviously, the crowds have really thinned out a bit, but remember, it's been 39 full days of World Cup celebrations across Los Angeles. And today, fans gathered one last time to watch history together.
The final whistle marked the end of a month that turned Southern California into the center of the soccer world. At Intuit Dome Plaza in Inglewood, fans packed the free community watch party for one last chance to experience the magic of the World Cup together.
Oh my God, it was a great experience. Good game all the way through. You know, I don't know, man, my heart was beating the whole time.
Some came decked out in red, others proudly wore blue and white. And for plenty of families,
I want to see the future of soccer.
I'm ready for Messi.
A house divided.
If Spain wins, we're locking you out of the house.
Just feet away from the giant screen, the next generation created its own memories, kicking the ball around while dreaming of a one day playing on soccer's biggest stage.
Great to having the feeling to watch the players that we still might be able to play with one day and have fun and be one of the greatest of all time.
For longtime fans,
they did a great job this time around since 1994. I was here in 94, right? I watched it. But here, this time, they had it all over the city, from place to place. It was a whole party. Excellent party.
Others hope to witness one more historic moment from Lionel Messi.
I'm Messi fan. I know he already won one time, but if his last dance, I hope he won him too. He deserved it.
While younger fans look towards soccer's next biggest stars.
I just love his skill and like how young he is, and I hope he wins the World Cup today.
Even inside blended families.
For my stepson, and he likes Spain. Jamal's one of his favorite players. So new generation, you know, they like the new stuff. So it's so exciting. Doesn't like history.
In the end, Spain celebrated another World Cup title. And the playful family rivalry continues.
All you guys out. No, it's my house.
But beyond the final score, fans say the biggest victory was something much bigger than soccer.
It's soccer. It brings us all together, and we're all one big family at the end.
Soccer, how close it brings everybody together. All the craziness around us, just the sport just brings everybody together.
All right, y'all. So, congratulations to Spain for winning the Men's World Cup. I do want to play this other thing though. So there's a lot of controversy going on surrounding the World Cup halftime show. They're saying that, hey, it's too much like the NFL halftime show. They're doing too much and all that. Now, I didn't find like something like exactly talking about it. It's been rumored, but I did find this one podcast who had a call in, and he did express his opinion on why he didn't enjoy the halftime show. But I'm thankful. I'm thinking that in a couple of days, though, there will be more reports of people who enjoyed the halftime show, who didn't enjoy the halftime show, um, so on and so forth. It'll be controversial. Let's see. All right.
Here's Brody Brazil.
The voicemail line is always open, always ready for you at 833-4Brody. I don't pick up the phone, but I do listen to all the messages, and then I get to play back and respond to the very best ones.
Hi, Brody. This is Kyle calling from Orange County, California.
Not Phil?
As a lifelong soccer fan, I have thoroughly enjoyed watching this World Cup tournament. The action's been fantastic. It's been a wonderful thing seeing all the great attendance and the people from foreign countries loving the United States. And now we're all set for the championship game, which I'm definitely going to watch, but one little issue I have with it.
Okay.
The fact that they're going to have 3 different acts perform as a halftime show, trying to be like the Super Bowl, I just think it's an unnecessary distraction. I understand why they're doing it. It's all about ratings. It's all about money. But for soccer, I just think doing that big of a halftime show is even more of a distraction than it is in football and could definitely affect the quality of the game.
Exactly.
I don't think there should be any halftime show, even for the championship game of the World Cup in soccer. I just think it's unnecessary, but money talks, so they're going to do it no matter what, but I don't like it. I'll still watch the game, but I'll probably take a long break during the halftime show. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, Brody. Thank you so much. I'm a subscriber to your channel. You do an awesome job. Keep up the good work, buddy.
Kyle, thank you so much. And if you ever see Phil roaming around Orange County, tell Phil I said hi. Look, I agree with you. And I think this is the Americanization of the World Cup. They're trying to make it more like the Super Bowl because that's what the Super Bowl is largely known for. Besides the football game and besides the commercials, there's always a halftime show. Well, there always hasn't been, but it's become a thing, right? Through the 80s and the 90s, the halftime show is just as much part of the Super Bowl as pretty much anything else to the casual football fan. I say American football fan. I know I've got to be clear on that here, but we're talking soccer. We're talking proper football here. And this year's halftime show is going to be the first ever for a World Cup final. Madonna, Shakira, and BTS, the group, all performing. This was all curated by Coldplay's Chris Martin. So you've got star power all across the board here. They're not cutting corners on who is appearing in this halftime act. But are we really talking about a whole group, another artist, and a third artist? How long is this going to go? Because in soccer matches during this entire tournament, there's been a format. And you can always appreciate this about soccer. It runs on the clock. Well, minus stoppage time, and there's always a question on that. But it's generally a time frame, and halftime is a very fixed time frame. It's 15 minutes. But that's not going to be the case in the most important soccer game you could.
Oh, so I think more so because I ran across this whenever I was putting the show together, and I said controversially. I said, let me see what this is about. So I think it's more so the fact that there's at the halftime, the break would be longer. Therefore, the players not staying warmed up while they are taking that break for halftime. So it was normally going to be, where their halftime is normally 15 minutes, but with the performance itself, it would make the break 25 to 30 minutes. So I'm seeing where the controversy can come in around it. If they do get some updates on this, or if somebody does come out talking about it a little bit more, then I'll cover it again next week or sometime this week. Maybe on the radar on No Middleman. So we'll see how that rolls this week. With that being said, make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're catching this on the rewatch, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button most importantly, and turn on those notifications so you know when I'm going live and you can join me in the conversation while I'm live. So that was Beyond the Scoreboard, where we were talking about Spain winning the World Cup. And now we're going to move on to my last segment, which is Soul Reset. One of my favorite segments, because with all the heavy news that I just reported on, it brings us around to a heartwarming moment as well. So let's get moving with the Soul Reset. So, out in Arizona, there was a teen um, that stopped to help a woman with dementia. So, after this week that has been filled with conflict, criminal allegations, and difficult questions, tonight's Soul Reset begins with one teenager who simply noticed that someone needed help. 14-year-old Royal C was riding his bicycle in Gilbert, Arizona, when he saw a 76-year-old Teresa Morgan struggling to walk in 103 degree heat. She was carrying a grocery bag and a purse, and she was sweating. And to Royal, something didn't look right. Teresa had recently been diagnosed with dementia and had become disoriented while trying to return home from a grocery store. She had wandered miles away from where she really needed to be. And of course, at that time, Royal, he could have kept riding. It was a woman walking down the street. But instead, he slowed down, he spoke with her, and he helped her move into the shade. He used his phone to search for information, helped Teresa remember her son's telephone number, and called him. And then Royal stayed beside her until her son and Gilbert Fire and Rescue arrived. Teresa's son, Jeff Morgan, said the family was fortunate Royal crossed her path and cared enough to stay with her. Gilbert Fire and Rescue Battalion Chief Ryan McHugh said Royal's quick thinking and compassion protected a vulnerable member of the community while highlighting the dangers of Arizona's extreme summer heat. The town plans to honor Royal at an August 11 council meeting. So let's listen in and to what this young guy did to help Miss Teresa. Let's see. I'll add this to the stage. Let's listen in.
Gilbert teenager set out on a bike ride and ended up becoming someone's guardian angel. We're uplifting Arizona with a story about paying attention when it matters most.
I don't think there's any apartments around here, I can tell you that.
There are moments in life that reveal who we are. A 14-year-old Royal Cawthron, it happened on a bike ride in Gilbert back in June.
Yeah, I could look it up on my phone if you want me to.
With temperatures soaring above 100 degrees, he came across a woman who was lost, confused, and struggling in the heat. And without hesitation, he stopped.
I don't even know. She just looked like something was wrong. So I started talking to her.
That woman was Teresa Morgan, a beloved mother recently diagnosed with dementia. After becoming disoriented, she unknowingly wandered miles from home after visiting a nearby grocery store. And Royal became the lifeline she didn't know she needed.
I knew it was hot. She was sweating.
Instead of riding off, Royal stayed by her side, getting her to shade, and was able to get Teresa to remember her son Jeff's phone number.
Maybe we can try to call him on my phone.
It's incredible, really, what he did.
Jeff says Royal explained the situation, racing over minutes later before the Gilbert Fire Department arrived on scene, telling me what Royal did wasn't just helpful, it was life-saving.
Just so lucky, so fortunate that he ran across her and he cared enough to stay with her and to take care of her.
His mom says she's proud, but not surprised. Helping people has always been part of who her son is.
Super proud, obviously. He was calm, he was compassionate.
The outcome would have been much, much worse had he not done what he did.
Soon Royal will be honored by the Gilbert Fire Department and the Air National Guard. But the family he helped says he'll always have another title too, hero. I'm ABC 15's Cameron Polam.
All right. Okay. Royal. He did his thing. He did his thing. He helped. He stopped to help. What he did was not complicated at all, right? He noticed it. He stopped. He listened, and he stayed. You know, sometimes we imagine compassion as a grand gesture, but more often it begins with refusing to walk past someone who appears to be in trouble. Royal did not need a uniform, a title, or special training to make a difference. He only needed enough concern to ask, "Hey, are you okay?" And because he asked, a mother made it home safely. So that's tonight's Soul Reset. Pay attention to the people around you, because one moment of awareness followed by one decision to care may be the moment that saves someone's life. All right, y'all. That has been my weekly rain report. Y'all been quiet tonight, but y'all been listening in. I know a lot of people have been busy trying to get their children's things together because school is about to start. Summer is ending and our babies are going back to school. I pray that all of our children have a great school year, have a prosperous school year, and have a school year filled with great opportunities, learning experiences, and everything else, growth. Yeah. Hey, Classic checking in late. Appreciate you being here, Classic. Thank you for checking in. I'm about to get up out of here. So tonight we covered a lot, y'all. We covered what's going on with Iran. We covered the travel warning, the travel advisories across the world. We covered a person that showed friendliness on social media, but ended up taking his friends' lives. We talked about a soldier and his wife and their infant child, and them essentially unaliving their infant child on Fort Benning. And we also Spain won the World Cup. And we talked about our soul reset where young Royal here, he went and right place, right time to help this woman who has a mild case of dementia get home. So if y'all are catching this on the rewatch, I appreciate y'all being here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment down here. Let me know what y'all think about the episode. I am part of the Raw Society Coalition. Classic Codes just checked in. Classic Codes is part of the Raw Society Coalition. Souls of Thought, Uncle Plug TV, and the Ted's Down. If y'all get a chance, go to all of their channels. I don't have the graphic over here. Do I have it on here? I don't think I do. I don't, unfortunately. So make sure y'all go to all their channels and hit that subscribe button on all those channels. We bring y'all great content 7 days a week, live content 7 days a week, and a lot of replays as well, shorts and whatnot. Make sure y'all tap into all of our channels. Y'all can catch me tomorrow night and Tuesday night on the No Middleman panel, along with my segment On the Radar with Rain. And we have some I think tomorrow's show is going to be awesome. All our shows are great, but I think tomorrow's shows are going to be awesome. Tomorrow's No Middleman panel will be awesome, as it always is. Make sure y'all tap into Tates. He's been doing some late night stuff lately. I'm enjoying that. And Classic has been covering Nolan Wells. And I know it's going to be some big things going on tomorrow with that. So make sure y'all tap into those channels. Souls did a new show today on his channel, talking about his hometown news of Shreveport. That was a good show. That is an awesome little. Yes, he is great. He really was able to tap into his inner compassion. I'll say that. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you being here and tapping in with me. Yeah, so y'all, I'm gonna end it. Thank y'all for checking in with me on the weekly rain report. I will catch y'all next week. I might bring you something Wednesday. It just depends on how I'm feeling. And definitely check in. Oh no, check in Wednesday. Tell you why. Wednesday or Thursday, I got to get with souls. Hey, we are reviewing The Polygamist. Baby, I am further in now. And I got so many questions. I've got so many questions, so many perspectives on that. So our series, Playback and Perspective. Make sure y'all tap in on my channel with that. I think we are airing it on the Raw Society Coalition as well. But yes, we are covering The Polygamist, and that series has been like, I don't even want to go. I'm not gonna go into it. Make sure y'all tap in. I think we're gonna do that Wednesday night, if I'm not mistaken. I have to get with souls and see. So yeah, we're gonna cover either 3 or 4 more episodes. Those because they're short episodes, jam packed with a lot of stuff. So if y'all are not watching it, make sure y'all watch it so y'all can, one, don't be spoiled. So spoil alert, don't be spoiled. But 2, y'all can talk with us in the comments as well. So it's gonna be a good show. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good evening. Make sure y'all rest well. I hope y'all have a blessed week ahead. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Good night, y'all.
so free. Real talk, no filter, no disguise. Every headline, I'm breaking it live. From the streets to the pressure of up top. We see it all, yeah, we connect the dots. Weekly, right, yeah, we run it down. Truth hit different when it wear a crown. No fluff, no cap, just facts in sight. Welcome to the weekly rain report. Let's get into it tonight.